One of the things we have to all learn to trust God for is that He is God. God is God. And when your trust is in Him, now many times when we say we trust God, we mean we trust people. That's why we easily get offended and angry when somebody we are looking forward to doesn't come through for us. But one of the things I've learned over the years is to trust God. It's to trust God when nobody sees you. It's to trust God when nobody recognizes you. It's to trust God when nobody gives you opportunity, especially pastors. These days, young pastors are too desperate. Too desperate. They don't trust God again. They're going around gathering fathers. They're too desperate. They're looking for platforms. They're looking for places of ministry. They're looking for recognition. They're looking for acceptance. And I believe in the value of having a spiritual father and a mentor or a helper or a coach. But sometimes you will look around you and there will be none. You seek for help and there's no help. You want a friend, there's no help. There's no friend. When I was growing up as a Christian, I didn't have a spiritual father. I didn't. You ask me, who is your spiritual father? I have none. Nobody took interest in me. Nobody decided that I was worth any attention. And in my time, I saw people trying to become friends with powerful people and people who are known and people who are big in those days, and they'll go for their meeting and take, just get to know them. I had nobody like that. In fact, anybody, almost anybody who tells you that he knew me when I was young may not be telling the truth. Because I was in the valley. I was totally unknown. Totally unknown. People didn't know me. They only got to know me when I became popular. But they didn't know me. Nobody knows me. Because I was faceless. I was a valley man. I had no spiritual father. I had no mentor. I had no advisor. I had no encourager. I had no motivator. And I don't say this with pain or anger. I'm just stating the fact as they are. I had nothing like that. That is why sometimes when people sometimes limit God and say, unless you have a spiritual father, God cannot use you. I say, what kind of Bible have you been reading? Isn't God the Father enough? Yes, if in addition to God, He gives you somebody to mentor you, fine. But there are people who seek and there is none. And I was one of them. I never had a prophecy, a good one. Oh yeah, we used to have meetings. Nobody, no, I never had a prophecy that my son, I will use you, you will touch nations and so, and you become nothing. No prophecy, nobody laid hands on me, nobody taught me anything, nobody sat with me to teach me, because sometimes you are poor and needy and you are seeking for water and there is none. You are in the valley and God says right there in the valley, I will open something for you. Don't be so desperate for human help that you avoid divine help. God is your helper. By all means, if a human being can help you, let them help you. But there is a reality of life that there are people who have no human help. And at the time I'm going through this, I've lost my father, I've lost my mother, and I have no human help. It's not like somebody came and said, I'll be your mother, I'll be your father, I'll mentor you. No. It's just you. That's what the Christian life is. And sometimes you seek help and there is none. You look for water and there is none. And you find yourself in the valley. And God says, right there in the valley, I will open a fountain for you. I will open a fountain. I know where you are. I know how to reach you. I know how to supply your need. I know how to open small resources for you. It's not a river. It's a small trickle of water. But that trickle of water is going to become a mighty river. Because God does not always open big things for us. Sometimes he opens trickles for us. Sometimes he opens tiny opportunities for us. But if you are faithful in little, you will be faithful in much. And he says in the valley, I will open fountains for you, not river. He didn't say river for the valley. He said in the valley, I will open a of miles, and after that it becomes the mighty Amazon, the largest river. The source is a small trickle. You have no idea what God can do with the tiny opportunity that he opens for you, the tiny rivers that he opens for you in there. Don't be too desperate that when nobody finds you, and everybody's experience is mine, but there will be a percentage of Christians who are like me, whom nobody called to lay hands on, whom nobody anointed with oil, whom nobody spoke a prophetic word over, whom nobody saw a future over, nobody dreamed about me, nobody saw a vision about me. When I went for meetings, the best prophecy I will receive is, my son, I love you. I am the Lord, I love you. I say, I know that. That they will come to pass. I never had that. I was in a church. I remember the church I was in. I was in the Assemblies of God. I grew up in the Assemblies of God. And I went to tell my pastor, God has called me. He said, he doesn't think God has called me. He just looked at me. You don't look like a called person. Because I was quiet, I was shy, I didn't speak, I wasn't a youth leader, I wasn't a prayer warrior, I was just there. Just one of those guys you see in the church. They are quiet, they don't have ambition, they don't seem to be going anywhere, they don't seem like there is a plan for their lives, they are not leading anything, they are not powerful anything. There were young people my age who were powerful preachers, children preachers. And when we had things in the church, children's church or youth church, they would go and they would preach. They were revivalists. I never did any of those. Because sometimes, we disqualify ourselves very easily because we look at the valley we are in and we think that because of the valley, God has forgotten about us. But God opened a little trickle for me. Just a little trickle. And I said, this is all the water I have. I don't have a river. I don't have an ocean. All I have is that little trickle. And I'm going to trust God and follow this trickle in this valley and see what this trickle will become. And if you walk in the valley with that trickle, at a certain point, it is a trickle, then becomes just 1 foot. Then gets wider and it gets wider. And you're still in the valley, but it gets wider and wider and wider. And now it has tributaries and it's touching all kinds of people. You just started following a trickle. Just a trickle. I am one of the most ordinary, low-performing people you ever meet. Even in school, I wasn't doing well. People listen to me teach and they say, hey, you are so brilliant. I wasn't. God had to redeem me from being sacked. But I also know the grace of God. That sometimes all you need in life is a trickle. You don't need a river. You don't need an ocean. All you need is a trickle. And it may be what I began to realize with my life is that when I read the Bible, I could see all kinds of things. I wasn't a preacher. I was young, I wasn't a preacher. But I read the Bible and I'm getting all these kinds of understanding. And I say, wow, wow. And sometimes I hear people preach and I say, what are they saying? You know, I was young, but I listened to them. They don't seem to know what they are talking about. They just... And I would think about all the things I'm learning and knowing, and I had no platform. Not even youth church. Until one day, I was asked to share in a group. And I will never forget. The group leader said, next week, Brother Mensa will be sharing a word with us. I said, God of mercy. Hey, you are clapping for me. I thought that was the end of my life. I said, God, I'm supposed to stand in front of people and say what? And the whole time is one of those things you are praying that next week will never come. And when the day comes, you are hoping that there will be rainfall, thunder, lightning, something. God shut the day down. But he didn't shut the day down. So I sat at the meeting and I thought that brother, the leader, the head of the group, will forget. He didn't forget. Somewhere in the meeting he said, I said last week that Brother Mensa will share something with us. So come and share something. And I closed my eyes. Because somehow you think when you close your eyes, the people will vanish. I closed my eyes. And I have no clue what I said. But I started saying something. Opened the Bible. And I shared a verse. I've even forgotten what I shared. I spoke for about 10 minutes. And then I sat down, feeling very embarrassed. I just said, you are a fool. You just disgrace yourself before all these people. You are quiet. Nobody knows you were foolish when you were quiet. Now you displayed it publicly by opening your mouth. Everybody is going to laugh at you. So I sat quietly. After that, the meeting went on. I didn't hear anything afterwards. I'm debating in my head. Did I make a fool of myself? What did I say? Why did I even come to the meeting? I shouldn't have come to the meeting. And afterwards, people will come and say, oh, Brother Mensa, we didn't know you knew the word of God like that. We didn't know you knew how to speak like that. Oh, wow. We didn't know you could preach like that. And that was the first trickle. That was the first trickle. That was the first time I understood that I had something to offer. And I became more serious with the path that I am on. And work my way. And work my way. God says when you are in the valley, and you seek for help and there is no help, he will open a source for you. For every pastor listening to me online or in this place, don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. Don't go kneeling before everybody to lay hands on you. You know, sometimes I'm walking in the airport and a pastor will come, kneel on the ground and raise their hand, pray for me. I said, what, are you embarrassing me? There are people here, they won't even know whether I'm a juju man or whatever it is, and I'm supposed to pray for. What is this desperation? What is this desperation? And you think if you kneel before me, I don't know you from anywhere, you kneel before me and I put this hand on you and I pray for you, your life will change. You become a great preacher. No. Because this, I didn't get it from laying on of hands. Nobody laid hands on me. I work hard. I labored. I sweated. I studied. And still study. And still work hard. This is not a product of laying on of hands. This is the product of intentional effort and discipline and committed to a process and seeing to the end of the process. It's not going to be abbreviated by a simple laying on of hands. By all means, I'll lay hands on you. You will feel a little better, but go and study after that. Go and study after that. Go and work hard after that. There is no cheap impartation in life. There is no cheap impartation in life.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe for more.